So with that, I want to hand off to Faye Todd, who is with the Staveley Parkland 4-H Club, to take us through the presentations.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Faye Todd, and I will be introducing the 4-H speakers today for the Farming Smarter event. I am 15 years old, and I'm attending J.T. Foster High School in Nanton. I am currently in my 6th year of 4-H in the Staveley Parkland 4-H Club, where I enjoy raising my market lamb projects and being involved in our equine program. I have been almost every position within our club, but am now the vice president. Outside of 4-H, I love participating in school sports where I play both volleyball and basketball. In my very little free time, I also enjoy skiing and traveling with my family. After high school, I hope to pursue my love for animals by attending Olds College and taking their veterinary technology diploma. I was lucky enough to have spoken last year at Farming Smarter with my 4-H speech I won at regionals and was incredibly grateful for the opportunity. I would like to thank Farming Smarter for once again inviting me to come back and MC, and as well the 4-H program for giving me this incredible opportunity. I would like to introduce our first speaker, Maria Habraken. Maria Habraken is 15 years old and a 10th grade student at J.T. Foster High School in Nanton. This is her first year as a senior member, but has been part of the Staveley Parkland 4-H Club for 7 years. In these 7 years, she has had market beef, cow-calf, and equine projects. This year will be her 2nd year being treasurer within the club, but in the past has been a district representative and secretary. Maria not only competed with this presentation through 4-H, but also competed in the Calgary Stampede's Alberta Youth Speakers for Agriculture competition. She was incredibly grateful for this opportunity and placed 4th out of 30 other speakers. Outside of 4-H, Maria enjoys skiing and during the summer working on her family farm just east of Nanton. After high school, she plans to continue to work on shark farms and one day take over her family's operation. Minnie would like to thank Farming Smarter for inviting her here today to speak about her passion. Rise of the Robots, Maria Habraken, Rise of the Robots.
Guys, how's this slideshow work? Is the slideshow working? Okay, sweet. I can't see it, so... Okay. Good day to the audience, fellow speakers, and master of ceremonies. When you search for a picture of a farmer... Where is the movie thingy? This is fancy. Okay. When you search for a picture of a farmer, this is what you are likely to find. But I am not so sure that is what you'll find in the near future. Oh, hold on. Okay. Is automation as helpful as it seems? From my experience, yes it is. I grain cart on my family farm just east of Nanton, Alberta, and I have noticed the smallest amount of automation in the new tractor has changed my job completely. In my first year of running the grain cart, shifting was the biggest pain, as I had to put my full weight on the clutch and listen to the tractor beep because it thought the seat was empty. I had to drive in a perfectly straight line and adjust my speed as the combine did, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Now, with automatic shifting, I barely even have to touch the clutch. The GPS of my tractor can drive in a straight line all by itself, most impressively, connect to the combine GPS, and chart a straight path beside it, matching its speed. All I have to do is click the engage button and ensure I don't hit anything. Soon I may be taken on my job completely by a fully automatic Kinsey grain cart. These significant changes noted in my short experience shows just how close we are to taking people out of the cab completely, although progression has not always been this fast. Since the beginning of farming practices, agriculture has changed drastically but slowly, from doing everything by hand to the invention of the plow in 500 BC. It took a couple thousand years before the first cast iron plow was patented by Charles Newbold. Funny enough, some farmers at the time mistrusted the plow, saying it poisoned the soil and fostered weed growth. After the Civil War in America, improvements were needed to make farming easier, as farmers lucky enough to survive the war often had significant disabilities. In 1863, John Deere created the first ride-on implement. This implement was marketed towards war veterans as a machine easy enough for a one-armed man to use. After this, innovations focused on changing farm tools to farm vehicles. Power, ease, and comfort drove the change. The machines used slowly got bigger as the demand for food increased and the number of farmers declined. In the late 20th century, the US military created the Navstar positioning system. 10 years later, the GPS, or Global Positioning System, came out. The GPS was first made available for use by commercial airlines. And then in 1996, John Deere released the first GPS installed on a tractor, properly named for what it looked like, the green eggs and ham. It's crazy that we use the same technology to drive a tractor in a straight line, fly an airplane, and even navigate a spaceship. By 2050, the global population is expected to be 9.7 billion people, and we only need to increase food production by at least 70%. While at the same time, farmers are being encouraged to reduce their environmental footprint. This is where the automation comes in. Smart or automated technologies are complex pieces of machinery that have been designed to do jobs with no to very little human intervention, such as fruit pickers, cow milkers, seeders, and so much more. Automated equipment uses data for accuracy and efficiency, meaning less environmental footprint as the machine can reduce errors such as overlap in the field, decreasing fuel use, chemical, and fertilizer application. One example is the new See and Spray, which detects weeds and only sprays them to reduce chemical use. Most machines can be working without someone continuously monitoring it, and some can be run right from a phone, making this good for time management and reducing labor costs. Another big part of automation is machine learning. Right now, some machines can already learn, recording fields that they work in so that next time they work there, they know when to turn and how to avoid obstacles. More complicated is the ability to learn about water, soil, crop, and livestock management, so that yield predictions, weed disease, and problem detection are possible. As change does, automation... Oh, hold up, did I miss a part? Oh, I did. To me, one of the most interesting things machine learning can do is look at soil degradation. It's amazing that an air drill could map out the soil and test the minerals to tell exactly where you need to add more of a specific mineral for a certain crop. As change does, automation will come with its challenges. First, it is extremely expensive, making it hard for anyone but big corporate farms to afford until the tech is more widely available. Second, the tech is hard to use. This change is a large and quickly moving learning curve that will require farmers to steer their focus away from being hands-on laborers and equipment managers and equipment operators. Instead, farmers will have to become managers and technicians. Third, if we are to have a communication downfall, once automation has become widely spread, we may experience global food shortages and will need the ability to run the equipment the traditional way. In spite of these challenges, I believe agriculture needs to continue to progress. Comfort, efficiency, and environmental responsibility are essential to the goals of the industry. The few farmers we have left need to be able to feed the ever-growing population. So I say, bring on the robots.
I would like to give a big thank you to the Lethbridge Lodge for providing a space to host Farming Smarter, and in addition being one of the sponsors for the lunch today. We would also like to thank the Lethbridge Northern Irrigation District for also being one of the lunch sponsors, and Dykstra Farms for sponsoring the lunch yesterday. Our next 4-H speaker will be Elizabeth Reitzma. Elizabeth is 17 and currently a grade 12 student. She has been part of 4-H for 11 years and participates in the equine program. After high school, she hopes to pursue a career in digital media for agriculture. She hopes to continue her passion of working with horses and in the future being a part-time horse trainer. She would like to thank Farming Smarter for the opportunity here today. The Friendship of a Horse, Elizabeth Reitzma, The Friendship of a Horse.
People say dogs are a man's best friend. Yet as much as I love my dog, I beg to differ. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have always been under the impression that whoever dubbed the dog man's best friend has clearly never met a horse. Horses and people always seem to have distinct relationships. Those who consider horses their best friends, like me, are suckers for punishment. It's one thing to drive by a pasture on your way to work and appreciate the natural beauty of a horse in its habitat. It's another thing entirely to get trampled, bucked off, then kicked, just to come back the very next day and tell the cause of all those tribulations how much you love them and how pretty they are. Despite the kicks, bruises, bites, vet bills, hay in my shirt, hay in my pants, hay all over the house, I love the rides and friendships I have built with them. My family has had horses for most of my life, and since those horses tend to came onto our yard, they've been my main focal point. I have developed a condition, like many other equestrians, called only equine conversification syndrome, or that's how I dubbed it. And this syndrome I have become a poster child for, because I have two horses whom I consider my best friends, and I love them with all my heart. Since my horses are so important to me, they tend to be my main talking point. Whenever I open my mouth, I watch the people listening to me as their eyes glaze over as I head into one of my various stories about how cute my horse is. Now, I am not the only person who suffers from this disorder. William Patterson's 2023 article, Establishing a Horse-Human Bond, traces the connection between horses and humans throughout the centuries. He argues that even though at one point horses were just a tool, they were also a companion and remain as one to this day. Sir Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1951 to 1955. He is quoted to have said, "Don't give your son money, as far as you can afford it. Give him horses. No hour of life is lost in the saddle." Since domestication of horses, people have always felt very connected to these animals. The indigenous used horses as a symbol of beauty, energy, healing, power, and even wonder. According to Running Horse Colin, a Native American who co-founded the Sacred Way Sanctuary, horses can be described as one with people. I relate to her statement because I have always felt kinship with my horses. I have told them my secrets and my fears, and they've never spoken a word to anyone. Horses have cheered me up on countless occasions and provide a sense of peace for me in times of trouble, even when they are the trouble. No matter the chaos, when they are loose in the yard causing havoc, or when spooking at the rock we've ridden past literally hundreds of times. There's something about the outside of a horse that is good for the inside of a man. Even through the thick and thin and the money they require, I think horses are worth it because they'll give you a friendship you can't find anywhere else. If you're looking for a stable friendship, get a horse. Horses are amazing creatures. If there are any parents here who don't want to buy their kid a horse because of the expense, let's be honest, they cost a fortune, I suggest thinking in a different way. A quick Google search will return over 5 million hits on the benefits of horses for children. Horses are an amazing way for children to build strong mind, a body of strength and character traits such as perseverance, empathy, and self-discipline. When your daughter is a teen like me, there is a big probability, all you dads out there, she won't be as interested in dating as much as she will be in horses. Your daughter will be too preoccupied researching the proper horse formation and not so focused on getting the attention of the most popular boy in her class. It might save you at least a little bit of trouble. The friendship of a horse will always be a strong one. From a kid to an adult, the lessons you learn and the love you develop with a horse will strengthen you both physically and mentally. Not only that, but the patience you build will astound you. I love my horses. Their friendship and love has made me who I am today. People tend to think horse girls have lost their sanity, but I think we've just found it in a different way. A crazy way, sure, but the best way, through the friendship of a horse.
I would like to remind everyone before our last 4-H speaker that the silent auction is ending at 1:30 today. All of the proceeds go towards the South 4-H region and funds communications competitions, judging, and other regional events. Thank you to Farming Smarter and Perlich Brothers Auctions for making this auction possible. Our last speaker this afternoon will be Noah Stout. Noah is almost 12 years old and in his third year of 4-H in the Lethbridge Northern 4-H Beef Club. Last year, he was very proud to have placed Reserve Grand Champion with his steer Ginger and is hoping to do just as well this year. In Noah's free time, he enjoys snowboarding, unicycling, and skateboarding. Noah is very grateful for this opportunity and thanks Farming Smarter for this experience. Masada, Noah Stout, Masada.
If you knew that you had no choice but to become a slave to your enemies, would you surrender yourself to them? Or would you take other large measures so you did not need to be enslaved unto them? Well, I want to tell you about a famous place, and more importantly, about a group of people who committed a mass suicide because they were too proud to become slaves. Madam Chairperson, parents, friends, family, and fellow farmers. By the coast of the Dead Sea in Israel, there is a place called Masada that is open to tourists and is a place that has an intense history. I want to take you along with me as we explore Masada and learn what happened there. The history of Masada goes back 31 years before Christ, when Herod the Great built this huge palace of refuge in case anyone would revolt against him. Herod was not liked by any of the Jews. They thought he was bipolar and had paranoia. He was always imagining the worst about everyone, didn't trust anyone, and always thought someone was about to take away his power. At one point, he thought his wife was conspiring against him to take away his power, so he killed his wife. A while later, he came upon his sons writing a letter, and he thought they were out to get him too, so he killed them as well. He was such a terrible man. He was so scared to lose his power that he built huge projects everywhere. Masada was built on a high elevation, and it was so high up, it was easy to defend. Roughly 100 years after Herod the Great died, the Romans were trying to take over Israel and trying to conquer the Jews. They would slowly win too. There was a group of Jews, about 960 of them, and they decided to use the fortress Masada high up to hide from the Romans and defend themselves if they could. The top of Masada was the last holdout. The Romans were trying to clear the south of the land, and they eventually came upon Masada and learned that there is these 1,000 Jews living up there. They surrounded Masada with 8 different camps and tried how to decide to get to the top, but they couldn't reach it. So they brought in thousands of slaves and made them spend months building a huge ramp up the backside of the mountain. When the Romans finally got up to the fortress hideout, they found a terrible scene. There had been a mass suicide. What had happened? Well, the 1,000 people who knew that they were being surrounded by the Romans realized that they were getting closer and closer, and at any time they would come, kill, slaughter, and take anyone they could captive. The group decided together that they never wanted to be servants to those Romans. They didn't want to be servants to anybody. They were not going to let themselves be captured. They chose 10 men to begin a mass suicide. So after picking 10 of the men, their job was to kill all of the people. Then one of the 10 was appointed to kill the other 9, and then had to have the courage to fall on the sword himself. When the Romans made it to the top the next day, they were met with a sight. Nearly 1,000 dead corpses. It was said that there was 2 women who hid in a cistern with 5 children. It is believed that their husbands could not get themselves to kill their wives and children, which is so understandable and tragic. My parents visited this site 3 years ago, and when they came home, they were able to share with us these things and show us pictures as well as videos to make it very real and easy to imagine what happened there. You can still see the massive storerooms where Herod would have held food, water, and weapons. The whole area shows great wealth. Masada will forever remain an incredible sight. Who knows, maybe once the bullets stop flying, I'll be able to see Masada with my own eyes too.
I speak on behalf of all the 4-H speakers today by giving a huge thank you to Farming Smarter for giving us this incredible opportunity and for supporting the 4-H program we all love. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.